Sean Diddy Combs was transferred to the federal prison at Fort Dix, New Jersey yesterday, where he will start to serve the rest of his 50-month sentence.
Diddy is facing even more trouble this week. A lawsuit reportedly nearing $100 million, a Tupac-related issue resurfacing at the worst possible time, and growing prison drama are all colliding at once. I'm breaking down every update and ranking them on a tier list, and some of these developments are genuinely surprising. If you're new here, this is where we break down everything that happened with Diddy over the past week. And honestly, the last few days have been non-stop. To keep things clear, we're using a tier list to rank each update. S tier means shocking and unexpected. A tier is wild but still believable. B tier is interesting but not surprising. D tier is information that has already been out there. Before we start ranking, a quick note. I won't go over why Diddy is incarcerated or the full details of the accusations, since that information is already public and widely known. Diddy has been held in a New Jersey jail for several months. He's facing serious federal charges, including racketeering-related allegations, along with multiple civil lawsuits from different individuals. His criminal trial is expected to move forward later this year, and the legal pressure continues to build. Most celebrities stay quiet when they're locked up and let their lawyers handle everything. Diddy hasn't taken that approach. From behind bars, he's filing lawsuits, releasing statements, and clearly trying to shape how the public views this situation. And this past week brought a new wave of developments. Let's break them down one by one and see where they land on the tier list. First, Diddy has filed a massive lawsuit, and the numbers alone are eye-opening. He's going after NBC, Universal, Peacock, and Ample Entertainment for nearly $100 million. That's a serious move, even for someone with significant resources. The lawsuit centers on a documentary titled Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. Diddy's team is calling it a hit piece. According to him, the film is filled with false claims and unproven allegations, and the narrative was built to damage his reputation rather than report facts. Things escalated this week when Diddy submitted a sworn affidavit. That means every statement he made is under penalty of perjury. If any of it turns out to be false, there could be real legal consequences. In that filing, he directly stated that he was not involved in the death of Kim Porter. Porter, the mother of his children, has been the subject of rumors for years, and this is the first time he has formally denied any involvement on record. He didn't stop there. Diddy also denied having any role in the death of Biggie, as well as denying involvement in the deaths of Andre Harrell and Heavy D. These are all major figures connected to the music industry, and addressing them directly raises the stakes. He also responded to allegations surrounding private parties. Under oath, he stated that he never used recordings to threaten, blackmail, or pressure anyone. He further denied any wrongdoing involving underage individuals, making it clear that he rejects those claims entirely. So why target NBC now? His legal team argues that the documentary was rushed to beat competitors to market. With Netflix reportedly working on a separate project connected to 50 Cent, they claim NBC pushed the release too quickly, prioritizing speed over accuracy. Diddy's lawyers say that rush seriously hurt the quality of the documentary. And this is where the lawsuit becomes more interesting. According to his legal team, NBC relied on only 3 sources for the entire project. One of them was Jaguar Wright, who shares her views online. Another was Gene Deal, a former employee of Diddy. The third source was an anonymous individual making claims without being publicly identified. Diddy's team argues that this simply wasn't enough. They claim NBC failed to properly verify the stories and instead pushed them forward to release the documentary as quickly as possible. According to the lawsuit, speed mattered more than accuracy. The filing also highlights how the documentary handled Kim Porter's death. Her official cause of death was pneumonia, which is a confirmed medical fact. However, Diddy's lawyers point out that this information appeared only briefly on screen in small text, while speculative theories were given much more attention. They argue that this choice created a misleading impression and unfairly shaped the narrative. So why does this land in the B tier? It's definitely notable that Diddy is pushing back this aggressively, and sworn legal statements always raise the stakes. But at the same time, this type of response was expected. He has the money, resources, and a full legal team prepared to fight. Interesting, yes, but not shocking. Now things take a much heavier turn. A man named Steve Otis has filed a lawsuit that includes one of the most explosive claims so far. According to the filing, the incident allegedly took place in 2012 at a hotel in New York City. Steve Otis claims that after a confrontation, Diddy allegedly threatened him, setting the stage for serious legal questions. Here is the quote presented in the lawsuit. Otis claims Diddy said, "I'm not playing with you. If I can get Pac hit, what do you think can happen to you?" Pac, referring to Tupac, was one of the most influential rappers of all time and was killed in 1996. The lawsuit does not frame this as casual trash talk. Otis' legal team describes it as a chilling statement meant to intimidate. They argue it reflects the level of power and influence Diddy allegedly believed he had at the time. According to the filing, this statement left a lasting psychological impact. Steve Otis says he waited more than 10 years before coming forward. The reason, according to the lawsuit, was fear. He claims he believed speaking out while Diddy was free could put his life at risk. He says he only felt safe filing the lawsuit after Diddy was taken into custody. The filing also describes what Otis claims happened that night. According to the lawsuit, he alleges he was given a drink and soon after felt disoriented and unable to think clearly. He says he felt physically and mentally compromised and unable to fully understand or resist what was happening around him. The document then describes a disturbing situation involving coercion and control. These are allegations, not proven facts, but the claims themselves are serious and will now be examined by the courts. The lawsuit describes what it calls a pattern of domination based on power and control. Otis claims the goal was humiliation and control. He also alleges that when he tried to get away by going into a bathroom, Diddy followed him, pinned him against a wall, and assaulted him for several minutes while he repeatedly said no. The filing states this left him with lasting physical and psychological trauma. The lawsuit also claims the pressure didn't end that night. In 2014, Otis says he left a comment on Diddy's Instagram page. Shortly after, he claims he began receiving death threats. According to the filing, those threats came through Cowboys for Angels, the same agency that allegedly arranged the original meeting. Otis claims the head of the agency warned him about someone referred to as Mr. Star, which he alleges was an alias connected to Diddy. He says the message was meant to scare him into silence. So why does this land in a tier instead of S tier? Stories and speculation linking Diddy to Tupac have circulated for decades through documentaries, theories, and online discussions. What makes this different is that the claim now appears in a sworn legal filing from someone who says those words were spoken directly to him. That moves it beyond internet speculation and into formal legal territory. If the case goes to trial, Steve Otis would be required to testify to these claims under oath. That significantly raises the stakes, which is why this lands firmly in a tier. It's intense, believable, and represents a serious escalation from long-running rumors into official legal proceedings. Now the next update is uncomfortable to discuss. A blind item recently surfaced involving Justin and his early time around Diddy. Blind items are rumors, not confirmed facts, so this should be viewed cautiously. Still, the implication alone has raised concern. The blind item, shared on TikTok by a creator named Stephanie, referenced freaky times during Justin's early career. What makes this more concerning is that Justin was a minor when he first began appearing around Diddy. There are old, widely circulated videos showing a very young Justin spending time at Diddy's home, which at the time was presented as mentorship. Given the current allegations surrounding Diddy's environment, those clips now feel very different in hindsight. The blind item suggests inappropriate behavior but provides no specific details, which is why it remains unverified. This lands in a tier for one reason. Any allegation or implication involving a minor immediately raises the seriousness, even when it comes from an unconfirmed source. Children cannot consent. If anything inappropriate truly happened while Justin was underage, it would be among the most serious allegations possible.
Was required to wear a black dress. Everyone else was still wearing white, and I believe that the black dress was to establish and to let the partygoers know who to look for if you did want extras. And the black dress is the first time that I recognized that I was drugged. I got numb, I got loopy, I felt like a zombie.
I put him to sleep.
I don't like people like finger banging me and things entering me like that. And with the black dress, they would lift it up as I'm walking by and try to stick their fingers in my ass and stuff.
Over the years, Justin has openly spoken about struggles with mental health, substance use, and feeling exploited by the music industry. To be clear, no one is saying those struggles were directly caused by Diddy, but the timeline overlapping with Justin's early exposure to powerful industry figures is unsettling and raises questions. Another reason this lands in a tier is Justin's silence. He hasn't defended Diddy, but he also hasn't spoken against him. He has remained completely quiet, and in situations like this, silence often draws attention on its own. Whether that silence means anything or nothing is unknown, but people are noticing it. Hopefully, this blind item is completely false. That would be the best outcome. But given the growing number of allegations and patterns being discussed, it's hard not to feel uneasy. That's what makes this situation so disturbing. Now we move to the next update involving Diddy's famous all-white parties. These events were legendary, but new claims suggest there may have been an unspoken system behind the scenes. A woman recently shared on TikTok that she was instructed to wear black to one of these parties while nearly everyone else wore white. According to her, the meaning of that choice became clear later, and what it symbolized was far more troubling than the party itself. According to her account, the black dress wasn't random. She says it was a signal. Guests who understood the code allegedly knew that people wearing black were marked for extras, her term for activity beyond the public-facing party. She claims that after arriving, she began to feel disoriented and numb, unable to think clearly or fully control her body. What followed, according to her, was unwanted contact from other guests who treated the black dress as permission. She described the experience as frightening and degrading. What stands out in her story is how structured everything allegedly appeared. According to her, this wasn't chaotic behavior happening by accident. It was organized. Certain people were selected, dressed differently, and allegedly placed in vulnerable situations. On the surface, these events appeared polished and elegant, high-profile all-white celebrity parties associated with Diddy. But she claims that beneath the image was a system that only insiders understood. If you knew what the black outfits meant, you understood where the night was really heading. This aligns with long-standing talk that these parties started off normal and shifted later in the night. What's new here is the claim that there was a clear visual code guiding that shift, hidden in plain sight. This lands in B tier because, while the details are unsettling, the idea that Diddy's parties followed some type of organized structure isn't new. People have suspected codes and systems for years. Learning how it allegedly worked adds detail, but it isn't entirely shocking. Now let's move to a deeper and more speculative update. There is a growing theory online about possible overlap between Diddy's social circle and the network connected to Epstein. This is not proven fact, but it's being widely discussed. The theory points out that both were wealthy figures based in New York City, moving in elite circles and attending similar high-profile events. After Diddy's arrest, other powerful figures also faced legal trouble, including Jeff and Adams, and the timing raised questions for some observers. Epstein's name draws attention because of his documented financial connections to Wexner. That relationship is publicly known. Whether any of this is connected to Diddy isn't proven, but the overlap alone has led people to ask difficult questions. Another detail that continues to circulate involves Jeff. He was reportedly held briefly in the same facility as Diddy, but not long after, his legal team claimed he was suffering from dementia. A court later ruled him unfit for trial, and he was released. For many observers, the timing raised additional questions. This has fueled broader speculation that powerful figures within the same circles may protect one another. Some believe Diddy could be cooperating with authorities, which might explain why other individuals began facing legal trouble. Others believe the opposite, that efforts may be underway to contain the situation before anyone speaks. There is no confirmed evidence supporting either theory, and for now, it remains speculation. What is clear is that figures such as Epstein, Wexner, Jeff, and Diddy moved within overlapping elite social networks. That pattern is difficult to ignore, which is why this topic lands in a tier. It suggests the possibility of something larger than just one individual, even though no direct connection has been proven.
Y'all probably don't know this one of my long-term friends, I know she done good for herself.
Craziest stories.
Yeah, but this was a long time ago before, anything popped up. So we just here on a Sunday, enjoying life. Sunday fun day. Just a couple of friends, love, life, laughter. So we were just talking about filters on Snapchat. I think Snapchat needs more filters. Yeah, I don't need filters. Yeah.
Now the focus shifts to another group connected to Diddy's world. This update involves the Kardashian family and resurfaced footage showing how close those connections once were. They attended his parties. They had business ties. They moved within the same social circle as Diddy. That's why this matters. With everything now being alleged about what may have happened at those events, people are questioning what others might have seen. The Kardashians have remained completely silent. No defense, no condemnation, and no public statement at all. For a family that typically addresses almost everything, that silence stands out. Some believe they may know more than they're saying. Others think they may have attended only the early, public-facing portions of the events and left before anything inappropriate occurred. The truth is, no one knows. What is clear is that video footage shows they weren't just casual acquaintances. They were repeatedly present in the same spaces. This lands in a tear because the footage itself isn't widely circulated, and their continued silence keeps the conversation going. If there were nothing to distance themselves from, many wonder why no one has spoken publicly. That unanswered question is what keeps people talking. The final update is brief because, honestly, it's not very significant. Diddy was recently disciplined in prison, and his projected release date was pushed back by 1 month, from May 2028 to June 2028. According to reports, the issue involved a three-way phone call between Diddy, his lawyer, and a PR representative while preparing a statement related to the New York Times. Three-way calls like this violate prison regulations. As a result, Diddy reportedly lost phone and commissary privileges for 90 days. That means no calls, no extra purchases, and nothing beyond basic necessities. This lands in D tier because it's exactly the kind of situation people expected. Diddy has consistently tried to manage his public image, and that effort apparently continued even while incarcerated. There's nothing particularly surprising here, just predictable behavior. That wraps up this breakdown. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, share the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.